Welcome to our trip through Turkey and Syria. We are starting off in Istanbul, Turkey, which was known as Constantinople throughout most of its history. The antique hotel in the old section of Sultanahmet has become our favorite place to stay. Very small, with only one room across the front on each floor and 2 rooms across the back. On the roof is a breakfast area where they served a buffet of incredibly delicious tomatoes, cucumbers, sliced meat, feta cheese, olives, and wonderful bread. Enough to get you through to supper with a snack along the way. It was so romantic eating under the shadow of the Blue Mosque. People in the pension across the street were enjoying their breakfast too. We also enjoyed the view of the Sea of Marmara, the shipping route between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, with its old and new watchtowers. The owner Enos is on the left. The night clerk Erkan was studying to be a politician and played pretty good violin. He is the epitome of the melancholy Turk and very sweet. The man in the foreground is carrying simits, soft bread rings covered with sesame seeds. Now we're going to tour the Sultanahmet Mosque, otherwise known as the Blue Mosque. It was built between 1609 and 1616 during the rule of Ahmed I. The minarets are designed to lift your eyes to God in heaven. The muezzins used to climb all the way up there to issue the call of prayer 5 times a day, starting about 5 a.m. Now they have big loudspeakers that blast you out of bed if you're too close to the mosque. Listen as the muezzins from different mosques seem to be trying to go the longest without taking a breath. If you're not too close to the mosque, it's a very romantic sound that you hear in your half-sleep a couple hours before you get up. The Blue Mosque is beautifully illuminated at night. There always seem to be large birds, maybe bats, flying over it no matter how late it was. This shot is over some kind of old residence, each room with its own chimney. Wonderful watermelon is sold in the streets. These minarets are typical Turkish style and vary greatly from the more Arabic minarets that you'll see later in Syria. The Egyptian obelisk, built in 1500 BC and once stood in Luxor before Constantine brought it to Istanbul. We are looking through an entrance to the courtyard around the mosque, which almost every larger one has. We have views from the courtyard. another entrance to the courtyard, this with beautiful Arabic writing over it. We are now finally inside. Depictions of animals and people are not allowed according to the Quran, so the beautiful Arabic script is often used for decorations, along with colorful tile work. As mentioned, the Blue Mosque was commissioned by Sultan Ahmed I in the early 1600s, and it has a classical Ottoman design. He charged Mehmet Agha, the imperial architect, with building a mosque that would rival the nearby Christian Hagia Sophia, built by Justinian 1,000 years before. These are the inside of some of the many domes. You may have noticed a lot of vertical lines. They are thousands of wires holding up the framework suspended about 10 feet above the floor and covered with lights. They used to be oil lamps. We often walked by this cliff along the street near our hotel, with its ancient Roman caves. In many respects, Istanbul is very modern, but there are still lots of street vendors. The cherries were delicious and inexpensive if you knew where to buy them. There are a few Orthodox churches, but Christianity is barely tolerated. Lots of crafts are made and sold both to Turkish and foreign visitors to Istanbul. Modern toilets as opposed to squat toilets, for which you pay the attendant a surprisingly high amount, about 25 cents. We are now approaching the entrance to the Grand Bazaar. This cat has been here at least 20 years and is always in the same spot every time we've been there. Inside the Grand Bazaar, where you can buy anything from the exotic to basic necessities. Ceramic tiles and other items are very beautiful. Iznik, not too far from Istanbul, is famous for its ceramics. In our wanderings, we came across a calligrapher and asked him to make some plaques for us in stylized Arabic-like script. He's writing Bismillah, which means in the name of God.
sarışın çilli, yeni açmış taze bir gülü. Hele 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 sarışın çilli, yeni açmış taze bir